We absolutely loved the Spanish Virgin Islands, but it was time to go. As the sun rose the next morning, we lifted anchor and set sail for St. Thomas. We really enjoy hanging out on catamarans at anchor. Before these upwind sails, the pointing performance of the monohulls really shine. In the short sail from Culebrita, this buddy cat lost about 1.5 miles to leeward.
After so much easting for so long, it was such a great feeling to really sail.
Once into Magens Bay, we were guided to anchor by an official escort. What Magen lacks in land access and cruiser amenities, it more than makes up for it as being one of the calmest anchorages we'll see in the Caribbean. Needing provisions and land access, we headed over to the east end of Red Hook. This anchorage can roll a bit and you're also subjected to ferry wakes, but as far as access goes, it doesn't get any easier than Red Hook.
Staying in Red Hook also meant we had easy access to our friends on land, Wendy and Bill, who made the stay the best imaginable.
So here's the dinghy dock at Red Hook. The dinghy's still there even though we forgot to lock it.
It was so cool to get to the US Virgin Islands. We had only ever been there by plane before, and so to take our boat was really cool. Catching up with Bill and Wendy from Savannah was awesome, and so was their mailbox.
And the best surprise of all was a GoPro replacement sent to us by the Dempseys out of New Smyrna Beach. While waiting on some of the packages to come in, we decided to kill a week and just go do a circumnavigation of St. John.
Mooring balls are currently free in St. John, so we took full advantage and hopped from ball to ball in anchorage after anchorage. It allowed us to see a lot of things we probably wouldn't have seen had we had to pay $30 a night. So in addition to that surprise GoPro, we also had a knockoff GoPro shipped from Amazon, along with a dozen other things that we just had not been able to find on the islands. You can't just order things wherever you go, so having someone nearby that had a mailbox with a US address was critical for all the packages we needed to have shipped in.
In addition to a lot of dead and damaged coral, a lot of it was just covered in silt and sand. Locals said it would take a couple of years for the reefs to clean themselves. When I first saw this small shark, I thought it was either injured or possibly hung up in some fishing line. After a few moments, I realized that it was just really motivated to eat whatever was in that hole. Where's your spear gun when you need it? All I had on this day was a small Hawaiian sling for the lionfish. It probably just would have injured this fish and not landed it, so I let it go. It was all sunshine when we went under. Good thing we remembered to close up the boat before we left. When the clouds parted, it was time to go for a paddle. Molly was jonesing to get ashore. With the strong currents and all of the channels and cuts nearby, we often just do drift dives and tow the dinghy behind us. If you find a spot that you want to explore a little more, you drop the anchor. Careful not to damage any coral.
Keep in mind, we were in the U.S. Virgin Islands 7 months post Hurricanes Irma and Maria, and this damage is still here, and they still need help. Most areas are up and running on St. John, including bars and restaurants, but others still need a tremendous amount of help. There are volunteer groups and even paid positions available if you have necessary skills. If you're a skilled tradesman and have ever considered coming to work in the islands, now would be the time to check it out. Trash is always a concern in the islands, but what happens after a hurricane? What do you do with all of this debris? The killer donkey. They're the nicest ever. On our last day in St. John, Bill and Wendy made it over to the island and we went off on a hike. As much as we love being on and in the water, the aerial views you get from these hikes are amazing. Thanks for watching, subscribing, commenting, and sharing, and see you next time for the British Virgin Islands.